gentlemen, here is the undefeated IBF welterweight champion of the world, Errol Spence Jr.
The undefeated WBO welterweight champion of the world.
What's up, boxing fans? This is TVE Boxing, back at you again. Pbc Fanboys demanding ridiculous Crawford versus Russell fight, but silent on Errol Spence ducking Crawford. Let's chop it up and see what it's all about.
Got the money for minutes, pretty bitch, gotta show me titties. This is the life that I chose, huh? On the block with the pole, huh? This is the life that I chose, huh? On the block with the pole, huh? That life before riches, huh? That life before riches, huh? Pretty bitch, show me titties, huh? And I got the glazzy run up on me, I'ma make you get it. I'ma make you get it.
Sure I met Al Haines. I met Al Haines.
I know.
Personally.
So have I.
What do you say?
Can we get both of them in the ring? Can we get both of them in the ring?
He said, I'm fighting Mikey. Then I might fight Sean Porter, Keith Thurman.
So he didn't mention Terrence, huh?
He didn't.
The smartest thing you can do is to stay away from Terrence. That's the smartest thing.
You're a legendary promoter. I like that. You're a legendary promoter. I like that. I like that. You're best in the business. I like that.
He been around this long.
You're a legendary promoter. I like that.
So he know fight.
I like that.
Hey.
End of 2019. Did you not say that? Did you not say that? That's what your promoter said.
This is what I'm saying.
I read it all.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I read it all too.
That's what your promoter
Terence
said.
Crawford, wait till he get a belt.
Yeah.
He ain't did nothing in the welterweight today.
You
When he
have
get
did
a belt,
nothing.
you want to
You have
go
did
over there. Keith Thurman want to go over there, and now y'all want to say, "Oh, I ain't fought nobody," but I got a belt now, so why?
Okay. Sean Porter got a belt too.
So now
Sean Porter got a belt too. Sean Porter. So why am I go to easy road and you knock Sean Porter out? So why am I go to easy road and you knock Sean Porter out? So why am I go to easy road and you knock Sean Porter out? Why wouldn't I?
Look at this dude.
Why wouldn't I?
You a smart man.
Is the Spence you fought last September at Staples, would that guy beat Crawford, or from what you know?
That guy was very good.
Mm-hmm.
He was good to the point where the last round, we came in, we touched gloves. Normally it just touch gloves and you fight, but I touched gloves with him and I said, good shit, boy, because the work was that good and the night was that good and that competitive, and I wanted it, and I could tell that he wanted it too. Does that fighter beat Terence Crawford? That fighter was strong. That fighter was very good. I saw some holes. I saw that I was a step ahead of him a majority of that fight. And with saying that, no, I don't think that fighter can beat Terence Crawford. But I've already said that in a match, I don't think Errol Spence could beat Terence Crawford. I think that Terence wins that fight. I think he's got more in his arsenal.
Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, not only a great...
All right, boxing fans, you heard it from the horse's mouth, okay? So we see, what we actually saw with that first clip, with Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. We actually saw Errol Spence ducking Crawford right to his face. I mean, right in his face. That was a blatant duck. So, all these PBC fanboys out there, demanding, this sideshow. I'm talking about guys like, Fannin and Blue Blood Sports, these guys are out there asking for like a sideshow fight, a fight that no one is going to sanction. A fight between Gary Russell and Terence Crawford. 4 weight divisions, okay, above, where Gary Russell is. I mean, that's not a legitimate fight. That's not a fight that, any responsible person, much less so-called boxing pundits, so-called new media, should be, trying to sanction a fight like that. I mean, that's ridiculous. Okay? You want to go out there and put it all out there, go out on a limb, calling for a fight with Gary Russell and Terence Crawford, but you're not calling for a fight with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. I mean, what is that? I mean, that's a more realistic fight. If you want to put your effort into something worthwhile, you know, then that's where, you know, you should be putting your efforts is into a fight with Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. So, you know, I'm not really a fan of this whole, you know, sideshow that the PBC fanboys are going on with. You know, I mean, it's a joke to me, and I don't really take that seriously. I mean, what's really behind all of that? Okay. Here we have Errol Spence, okay, saying that, I mean, you know, let me translate for some of you people who don't really understand what was going on in those two video clips I just played, okay? I mean, basically, Errol Spence is running off the list of the fighters that Al Heyman has coming up for him, okay? And you heard him name them off. He named off Mikey Garcia. He named off Sean Porter. He named Don't Duck Me Son Thurman. And, you know, so basically, Terence Crawford then said to him, well, hey, my name is on that list. And Errol Spence says, no. Now, we already know that two of those fights have came about already. You know, the Mikey Garcia fight and the Sean Porter fight. Okay? So, Crawford says to Spence, hey, my name is not on that list. And Spence says, nah, your name is not on the list. Okay? You know, so right there we see that, you know, whatever program Spence got going on, it doesn't include Crawford. He's ducking. Okay? And just to emphasize, you know, that he's really ducking him, Errol Spence, Crawford says to Spence, well, hey, you know, you guys told me that, you know, when I was at, you know, 140, I need to get a belt, you know, and I went and got a belt, okay? I came to welterweight, and when I called you guys out, you know, you and Thurman, and, you told me I need to go get a belt, so I went and got a belt, okay? Now I got the belt, Spence is going that way, Thurman is going the other way, and now you're saying that I got my belt, now you're saying I'm not fighting nobody. What's up? What did Spence say? Spence said, well, why wouldn't I take the easier route? Instead of fighting you, why wouldn't I just take the easier route and go and knock out Sean Porter? You see what I'm talking about? So, I mean, Spence is admitting it, that he wants to take the easier route instead of fighting Crawford. He doesn't want to fight Crawford because that's the toughest route. So he wants to take the easier route and go and knock out Sean Porter. Okay? So that's basically his plan. And as we saw, that's the plan that actually came to fruition, because he done fought Mikey Garcia. So that is Spence. He fought Mikey Garcia. You know, he fought Sean Porter, but as we saw, knocking out Sean Porter wasn't as easy as he thought it was going to be. That never happened. He almost got knocked out by Sean Porter. Okay? So that's what really happened in that fight. So now, okay, after Sean Porter, is he going to fight Terence Crawford now? No. He's going to fight Danny Garcia. So, I mean, you know, we can see that, you know, there's nothing but blatant ducking going on from, you know, Errol Spence. I mean, you know, no disrespect to Errol Spence, you know. I mean, I respect his skills. I respect his pedigree, okay? But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not the one that's saying he's ducking. He's the one that's saying it. He's saying that I'm ducking. So I mean, it's not like I'm accusing him of ducking. Okay, he's admitting that he's ducking Terence Crawford. This is what Errol Spence is. I mean, you know, you gotta, you know, if you people don't believe what I'm saying, then you know, look at the clip again. I mean, you know, run it back. Okay. So
I met Al Haines.
Sam wants.
I met Al Haines.
I know.
Personally.
So have I.
Can we get both of them in the ring? Can we get both of them in the ring? He said, I'm fighting Mikey. Then I might fight Sean Porter, Keith Thurman.
So he didn't mention Terrence, huh?
He didn't.
The smartest thing you can do is to stay away from Terrence. That's the smartest thing.
You're a legendary promoter. I like that. You're a legendary promoter. I like that. I like that. You're the best in the business. I like that.
He been around this long.
You're a legendary promoter. I like that.
So he know fight.
End of 2019. Did you not say that? Did you not say that? That's what your promoter said.
This is what I'm saying.
I read it all.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I read it all too.
That's what your promoter
Terence
said.
Crawford, wait till he get a belt.
Yeah.
He ain't did nothing in the welterweight today.
You
When he
haven't
get
did
a belt,
nothing.
you want to
You
go
haven't
over
did
there. Keith Thurman want to go over there, and now y'all want to say, "Oh, I ain't fought nobody, but I got a belt now." So why?
Okay. Sean Porter got a belt too.
So now
Sean Porter got a belt too. Sean Porter. So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out? So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out? So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out? Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I?
Look at this dude.
Why wouldn't I?
You a smart man.
So there you have it. You know, what more do we need to see? You know, basically everybody at welterweight is ducking Terence Crawford, and now they want Terence Crawford to fight. You know, these people are calling for Terence Crawford to fight Gary Russell. I mean, you know, like people like Fannin and Blue Blood Sports. I mean, these are the same guys who, you know, are saying that Mikey Garcia is showing damage from fighting Errol Spence. You know, they're making a joke, making fun of Mikey Garcia, say that, you know, hey, you know, he shouldn't have went up to fight Errol Spence. It was too much for him. Now, we have to understand something about this kind of hypocrisy that we're seeing. Okay? Mikey Garcia, you know, when you compare Mikey Garcia to Gary Russell, it's no comparison, you know, in career-wise, in terms of accomplishment in boxing. I mean, at the end of the day, Gary Russell is just talk. I mean, he talks a good game, okay? That's about it. But when you really dig down below the surface of what he's actually saying, when you actually listen to what he's saying and then look at the history and look at his record, then, you know, you're going to see a different story, okay? You know, I'm going to tell you something. When I was in the military, you know, I remember my drill instructor, you know, he used to say, hey, listen, if you can dazzle them with brilliance, then baffle them with bullshit. Okay? So basically, you know, Gary has been baffling us with bullshit. Okay? Because he doesn't have a brilliant career in boxing. You know, if anything, Gary Russell's career has been mostly a disappointment to his fans, you know, the whatever little fans that he does have. Okay, so this is, you know, when you compare that Gary Russell, if you compare Gary Russell's record to, say, Mikey Garcia, you know, who moved up, who actually moved up. I mean, at lightweight, Garcia won a title, okay? So it's not, and from lightweight, he moved up to junior welterweight and won another title against Robert Easter, okay? So it's not as if he jumped from lightweight straight away up to welterweight to fight Errol Spence. He actually took some fights in between, Okay, and to his credit, you know, I think he had fought Lipinets first, and then after that he fought Robert Easter. But to his credit, instead of just talking, he actually did something, you know. So, but yet still, even with all those accomplishments, okay, going, you know, from, you know, holding the lightweight title, then going from the lightweight title to getting the super lightweight title, okay, against Robert Easter, and then jumping from there one weight up to fight Errol Spence, everyone was saying, oh no, it's too much, you know, he's too small. How is he making such a big jump? This, that, and, you know, and the other. But if you look at the accomplishments that Mikey achieved prior to making that jump, they were substantial. He made substantial, you know, accomplishments before he actually made the big jump to challenge Errol Spence. So it's not like he was just running his mouth and talking about, oh, I'm going to go from lightweight to welterweight to challenge Errol Spence. But in the meantime, he's not making the move towards it like how Gary Russell has been doing. You know, I mean, if these PBC fanboys, these like button junkies, if they were so concerned about, you know, Mikey Garcia jumping up, not even really 2 weight divisions, but 1 weight division to fight Errol Spence, why aren't they concerned about Gary Russell jumping up 4 weight divisions to fight Errol Spence? I mean, to fight Terence Crawford. Okay? I mean, this is ridiculous. Okay? You're not calling for the Errol Spence Terence Crawford fight. You know, you're not going all in, you know, telling Errol Spence to fight Terence Crawford, but you're going in on a guy at 126 pounds to come to 147 pounds, you know, in one shot, no intermediate fights, and fight Terence Crawford, who was a unified lightweight, undisputed junior welterweight, and now, you know, current WBO welterweight champion. And at the same time, this same Gary Russell has not even moved up 4 pounds to fight, not even a 130-pound fight. Okay? But, yeah, and this is where the hypocrisy comes in, because Mikey Garcia had actually moved from lightweight to junior welterweight and won a title, and then moved to welterweight. And people were saying, oh, it's too big of a jump for him, he's going to get murdered, blah, blah, blah. Okay? But they're okay with a Gary Russell who hasn't taken any fight whatsoever in between 126 and 147. And they were out there, you know, yelling at the top of their voices, calling for this fight to happen. I mean, these guys are jokers, man. I mean, fighting can't be serious. Neither can be blue blood sport. This is a joke. I mean, it's a big, and not only is it a joke, it's a big disrespect to a guy of the stature, you know, of Terence Crawford. Okay? I mean, here it is, right? Terence Crawford, unified lightweight champ, okay? Moves up, you know, no intermediate fight, just straight up, boom, jumped up to 140, okay? Took I think 140-pound title from, I think it was Delorme, I believe, okay? So after doing that, he not only unified at 140 pounds, but he's undisputed. He becomes undisputed at 140 pounds, right? This is a guy who is unified, was unified lightweight, jumped straight up to junior welterweight, undisputed at junior welterweight. Now, at the end of the day, Terence Crawford could have ended his career right there and he would have been still in the Hall of Fame. Okay? Simple as that. That accomplishment right there is 10 times what Gary Russell has done in his whole career. Okay? Let's just get that straight. All right? So now, even after all of that, now Crawford jumped straight to welterweight again, another straight jump. Fight the welterweight champion Jeff Horn, the guy who just beat legend, Hall of Famer, Manny Pacquiao, 8-time world champion. Okay, this guy beats Jeff Horn, beats this guy, and then Terence Crawford jumps straight from 140 pounds and challenges guy and beats him. Okay. Now, compare that to what Gary Russell have done. What has Gary Russell done? But Gary Russell have done nothing. He's mostly known for losing to Loma. That's his big moment. He lost to Loma, So, the hypocrisy is, it's crazy, So now, after Terence Crawford become undisputed at 140 pounds, he calls out all the welterweights. Okay, they say to him, "Oh well, you are undisputed 140, and you were lightweight, undisputed, but you got to get a title at 147 and then come see us." This is what they, Errol Spence, Thurman, all of them said. So, okay, being the warrior that he is, Terence Crawford didn't, he went out there and got him the title. Okay, so now he's a WBO welterweight champ, straight up, jumped from 140 to 147, captured the title. Now that he has the title, Errol Spence is going that way. Thurman went the other way, ended up losing his titles, getting stripped, and then getting beat by Manny Pacquiao. So nobody wanted to fight Crawford, even after telling him that he had to go and get a title. Now, everybody was basically in agreement with that. He got to go get a title and got to prove himself and this and that. But there's nobody saying to Gary Russell that he has to prove himself before he can go ahead and challenge for Crawford's title. Okay? At 147 pounds. They're saying, oh no, he's supposed, why can't he just go up there and fight Crawford? Because he says he wants to fight Crawford. Why can't he just do it? Well, why couldn't Crawford just do it? Why did he have to get a title at 147 before he could challenge the other 147 pound titleists like Thurman and Spence and Porter? Why did he have to get a title first? Why would he require to get a title? But Gary Russell is required to do nothing but run his mouth and just go up and try out for Terence Crawford's title. Why is it that he's not required to, accomplish anything first? This is what I call hypocrisy. So you see all this talk, there's this talk out there, about new media, new media this, new media that, as if to say this so-called quote unquote new media is some type of a new paradigm in broadcasting, when it comes to sports, boxing, or whatever. But at the end of the day, we see that it's no new paradigm. This new media is no different from the old media. Okay? The only difference between new media and old media is the technology. Okay? New media is driven by the same thing that old media was driven by at the end of the day. Okay? Greed, pettiness, okay, narcissism, and all kind of ism and schism and different ideologies, So this is what, it's the same old story, it's same old wine in a new skin, okay? So there's no new parrot. So these same new media characters, are doing the same shit that the old media characters doing for the same reason, just to make $1, That's it. Like button junkies, okay? Trying to get up their likes or their viewership so they can make more money. So they go out there and, trash Terence Crawford, okay? Because, it's a big seller with the decafs, okay? And, so this is the new media. This is the new paradigm. It's a joke, okay? These guys are jokers, okay? At the end of the day, if Gary Russell is serious about fighting Terence Crawford, then he has to accomplish something before, okay? He can't just jump up and, and the whole idea of a fight like that is ridiculous. The real fight is Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. That's the fight people should be pushing for, and instead of pushing for some sideshow, with a cloud chasing Gary Russell, who, is trying to, make a desperate play for relevance, because he is basically mismanaged his whole career. So now he's trying to get a come up off of using the name of Terence Crawford, and that's what's really going on. Okay, that's the bottom line. I mean, you gotta call a spade a spade. It is what it is. You can't, sugarcoat this thing. You know what I mean? You have these guys, these so-called PBC guys. They have Gary Russell on their show, and instead of asking this guy the tough questions, because he's up here talking about, oh, Terence Crawford record is this and Terence Crawford record is that. Well, why aren't they asking about his record? I mean, you lost to Loma in your biggest fight. You never made it to the Olympics because you were, according to you, you passed out in your, in your hotel room. I mean, supposedly nobody knows what really happened. Okay, so now from that to losing to Loma, to winning against Johnny Gonzalez in a Johnny Gonzalez. Who the hell is Johnny Gonzalez? I mean, no disrespect to Johnny Gonzalez, but I mean, he's not an elite fighter, so that's not like something that you can name that's on your record. So who did Gary Russell really fight? What's his record? I mean, he has no real record, no real accomplishments. Never left featherweight. Been there playing the weight bully his whole career. Okay, so you're gonna compare a record like that and want a guy like that to move up 4-weight division to challenge a unified lightweight, undisputed 140-pounder WBO welterweight champion like Terence Crawford, and then you're gonna try to diss Terence Crawford at the same time? These so-called these PBC fanboys, these like button junkies, okay, fanning boxing and blue blood sports. I mean, these guys can't be serious, man. I mean, if you're serious about boxing, then you should be calling for the Terence Crawford Errol Spence fight, not some sideshow. Okay, it's a joke. There is no Gary Russell, Terence Crawford. No matter what you guys are out there, screaming and like banshees and yelling about, it's not gonna happen. Okay, and I love the way Terence Crawford is handling the situation like a boss. You know what I'm saying? He's not even, after he came out and clarified the fact that Gary Russell, was basically, I mean, there's no, easy way to say it. Gary Russell was basically lying. He got caught in a lie. Okay, so after he came out and basically, showed that Gary Russell was lying, he never responded to Gary Russell again after that. And he came out and he did it with class, you know, and that's just the way it's supposed to be. You know, these PBC fanboys, you know, are just waiting for him to get in some back and forth between him and Gary Russell. You know, Gary Russell's up there acting like a fool, you know, calling this one out and that one out. But he just stayed cool and just let it be what it is. Okay? And so I love the way he handled that. You know, that's the way it was supposed to be handled. You know, don't even waste your time, you know, going through in the back and forth with Gary Russell, because it's a sideshow. You know, he got what he wanted now. He got to fight if, you know, that's what he really wanted. Okay? I mean, Gary Russell, you know, is now going to fight Devin Haney. But, you know, what I want to talk about is this Terence Crawford, Errol Spence fight. You know, that's the fight we all want to see, and that's the fight we should be seeing. And so, you know, Errol Spence, you know, and nothing against Errol Spence. Shout out to Errol Spence. You know, love his skills. Like I said, you know, after the Kell Brook fight, Errol Spence made me a believer. Okay, I have nothing to say about his skills, his talent. You know, as far as I can see, he's an all-around, you know, fighter who is really kind of, you know, I've heard, you know, his trainer, you know, mentioned one time, and I kind of ridiculed the whole idea, you know, that he was saying that he was as good as Hagler, you know. Now, I mean, still, I you know, I don't really see him, you know, being as good as Hagler, because for one thing, you know, Hagler had a chin of granite, and I don't think, you know, Errol Spence has that type of chin. Okay, but in terms of boxing skills, I mean, it's not that, you know, too far away from some of the skills I saw in Marvelous Marvin Hagler. I mean, you know, with some seasoning and, you know, more work, yeah, I can see that. You know, so I can't really, so, you know, Errol Spence have good skills, okay? But at the same time, you know, you have to call a spade a spade. And he's been ducking Terence Crawford for over a year now. So, you know, he should have fought Crawford after he fought Porter. But instead, he's fighting Danny Garcia. So maybe Danny Garcia is a tune-up, you know, he's thinking. And so now, even though I wouldn't think of Danny Garcia as a tune-up, okay, but, you know, maybe that's how he's thinking. I'm not saying that's how he's thinking, I'm just saying maybe. So maybe you see it as a tune-up, and then he's going to fight Terence Crawford next. Because that should be the next fight. No ifs, no buts. Okay? If Errol Spence is not fighting Terence Crawford next, then what's the point? You know what I'm saying? That should be the next fight. You know, 2021, Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. That's the fight that people want to see. That's the fight that people should be out here pushing. All this nonsense by Fannin and Blue Blood Sports about, you know, hapless Gary Russell moving up 4 weight divisions to fight, you know, Terence Crawford. That's a fantasy. That's not going to happen. Okay? So let's come back down to earth, okay? And, you know, instead of wasting time pushing that fight, let's start calling for the fight that everybody want to see. Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence. So, you know, that's all I have. You know, I'm going to leave it there. This is TBE. I'm out.